you get anything out of tonight, God is good no matter what you're going through.
That's right.
God is good no matter what you're going through, no matter what you're about to go through, no matter how deep the mud is, no matter how deep you get into your circumstances, God is good.
All the time.
The only person that tries to defeat you is the devil. And guess what? He has no power over you.
That's right.
Unless you agree with him.
Unless you give him and you agree with him that you suck as a Christian and you might as well just give up. It ain't working. I'm going to share this about our band. Is that okay with you guys? This is really strange. Our ministry team left here last week. Friday night. First set. Wasn't that great. We weren't getting our timing down. We were having some difficult times as a band. I was having a bad night. Thought it was an okay message. I didn't really feel like God was just as strong as I wanted him to be, and that was maybe me. I don't know. But I walked out of here going, wow, what's going on? Why, God? Why this? Why that? So I don't know anything about the band. Then I come to find out, I get a phone call. One of the guys on the ministry team, the prayer team, one of the leaders of this church, called me and said they were having a struggle with something. Then I get another phone call. They're struggling with something. I'm having a bad week. Then I get back there and I ask the whole band, I'm like, what did you guys feel when you left here? Man, I just felt like going home and grabbing a beer and going back to my old life. And I ask another person, and I'm not naming off names, these are band members. This is a leadership team. Saying, man, I don't know, I just felt really down. I felt depressed. And I thought, man, I'm not the only one, you know? Devil is good at his job. You heard that, right?
Oh, yes, he is.
He's good at his job. He'll come after us. He'll divide and conquer. If he can divide us and separate us out, separate us out, me and Ron aren't on the same team anymore. Ron, I don't like you. You said something wrong to me last week and it upset me. I don't like you anymore, Nick. I don't like the way you shave your hair. I don't like the way you dress. I don't like that you have the same shirts as I do. Debbie, I'm tired of talking to you on the phone. Done.
I don't blame you.
Dan? It's all that stuff you put in your hair that you talk about. I still like it. It's the toothpaste. Who? Forget it, man. I'm making a joke about this, but we had a whole leadership team, a whole praise team, saying, I'm just not feeling this. I'm having struggles. Guess what? Devil. Guess what? Enemy. Guess what? I'm not taking it no more.
Amen.
I'm going to brag on this church a little bit tonight. Is that all right with you guys?
All right. All right.
I have never, ever, in my 20 years of walking with Jesus, seen a bunch of people want to hang out till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning after church is over. I've been walking with God for 20 stinking years. I'm not saying this is the best church. I'm not saying we got it better than anybody else. Hear me tonight. I'm not saying that. But I will say this. I have never, and I already said it once and I'm going to say it again. I have never, ever seen a bunch of people want to hang out and talk to one another as much as I see you guys want to hang out and talk to one another. I have never in my Christian walk seen adult men have the guts and the courage to say, I've got a problem with pornography, will you pray for me? It doesn't happen in the church. Because the men are too scared to go, oh, you got what? You're struggling with what?
right.
You guys get together and you pray for one another and you care. That's not the church that I know of. The church that I know of devours one another.
Right. Yeah.
They stomp on one another. Did you hear about Sister Peggy Sue last week?
That's the truth.
Did you hear what she did? Did you hear about the car parked out in front of her house? I'm better than that. I didn't do that. Oh no, but you're gossiping for half an hour about Peggy Sue. You guys hang out with one another. You care about one another. You lift one another up. You say, hey, you know what? I don't care what you're going through. I don't care whether you're demon possessed. I don't care whether you have 16,000 demons hanging over you called Legion. We care about you. And we're going to love you through it. We want to see you get rid of the Legion. We want to see you delivered, but we love you. Come back. We don't do that in the church today. We'd rather take a pillow and smother it over your face and call you dirty and unclean. When Jesus Christ, that's not what he did. Jesus Christ said, I'm going to go to the bars. You read it. You read it if you think it's not true. Jesus would go into the bars. He would spend time with people in the bars. He would sit, if he was here today, I'm going to say something. I believe he probably was riding a Harley Davidson and hanging out with a bunch of guys that are probably more like, what's the fishing show? The TLC. Deadliest Catch. I believe he'd be hanging out with a bunch of guys like that. Guys probably use it for vanity, like the nearest sailor. Because Jesus would rather have the scum of the earth than he would have the religious guy with a suit and tie on who talks about everybody in the church. The reason nobody wants to come to church today, listen to me. The reason nobody wants to come to church today, I'll talk to this section because it's too dark over there. I can't see it for a second. The reason nobody wants to come to church today is because there's a bunch of hypocrites hanging out in the pews.
Don't leave out.
Let's get real. Go ahead, ma'am. What'd you say?
Don't leave out self-righteous.
My first 5 years of Christianity, let me tell you how it went. I walked into the church, a little church. I walked in and sat down in the back pew of this church. I saw 17 little teenage, about 10, 17-year-old kids and under, 17 and under kids, sitting there with their parents, bored out of their stinking minds. Couldn't wait for church service to be over. The pastor would call youth rallies. And we would drive all over the state of Ohio going to these youth rallies. Now, I'm going to offend some of you, and I'm sorry if I do. But we would play Southern gospel songs at these youth rallies.
Jesus still loves you.
Thanks, Bob. But after these Southern gospel songs, these kids are still bored out of their mind. They don't want to sing Southern gospel songs. They want to sing some rock and roll. They want to hear about Jesus, but they want to hear it on their level. Rap. With a guy with some hair, maybe. Oh, I love you, Nick. I'm just kidding, bro.
We gotta come back, Nick.
I'm having fun. I'm seriously having fun, but hear me out, okay? Then here's me. I'm sitting in the pew with hair all the way down my back, with the pastor standing up there preaching at me, telling me I need Jesus. The pastor doesn't know that I had a deliverance experience in my car and already knew who Jesus was personally.